All right, so um, hi again. Thank you for joining my channel. I wanted to do a quick tutorial because I had a customer order um, this similar earring. This is our fabric wrap earrings that we have on our website, and as you can see, they're wrapped with African print, and they're tightly wrapped so that it will not unravel, and then we seal in the back. So I'm going to show you how to do this with any fabric that you want, and also you can use any design of earrings that you want to wrap and get the same kind of look. So let's get started. You are going to need a scissors, and you really don't need this snipper because I use it because it's smaller. When I'm about to finish it up, I need this to kind of finish up the edge at the end. I'll show you. And then you need a seam ripper. You can use anything that is sharp. I like a seam ripper because it's sharp and it's long, so I can push it through. And then you need a template, basically an earring that you're not using anymore. If you want to wrap it with if you want a new design, you can use it to wrap with a fabric and get a new look like this one. And then this is the earring hoop, the hooks that goes in the earring. So what I do is I take it off the earring just because I want to have a really smooth finish, so you don't see any bulk right there. So that's what I do. I take that off, and then I will use this to put it back in. So you need to pay attention to where your holes are, because when you finish, you want to use the seam ripper to kind of poke that hole back up. Okay, that way you can put the earring hooks on it. Okay, and then you're gonna need 2 strips of fabric. This is how I cut mine. They're a little larger than 1/2 inch, so I wouldn't recommend going bigger than that, just because it may be too fat. You want it as thin as possible, but you don't want it too thin. Okay, so this is the size that I cut mine, and the length of it is about maybe 30 inches. So you want to keep it as long as possible, just because if you're working with a larger earring piece, you want enough fabric to wrap around the whole thing. So that's why I do that. Okay, and then you want a hot glue gun. It's already plugged in, it's hot right here, get ready to go. Once you get this all ready, let's get started. I set this aside, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my my template earring piece that I'm going to use to wrap, and then I want to, well, some of the fabrics are, you can see the right side from the wrong side, but this one is very hard to differentiate which one's which. So I'm just gonna go get started and wrap it. So when I get when I'm ready to go, I take the glue gun, and then instead of me putting the glue right by the hole, I'm gonna put it right before that. That way I'm not having a lot of bulk next to the hole that we're going to poke later. So all I'm doing is just pressing the fabric to the glue, and it's a hot glue gun, so it dries up really fast. And then now you're going to just kind of fold in the edge of that. So throughout the whole process, you're going to be folding in the edge so that you have that clean look. So I'm going to fold in the edge and then put it through underneath and pull it out to the other side. And you don't want any of this selvage to show up, so you want to take out any of the fabrics that are sticking out. So all I'm doing right now is just pulling it through and then wrapping it around, and make sure that you pull it really tight. Right, see what I'm doing? I'm holding it here, but I'm pulling it here as well. That way I have this tight, clean edge. So I'm going to do that around the whole piece, and then we'll get to the end. See that? So if I have a really clean edge here and it's tightly wrapped, that way it will not unravel. Okay. So I do this with a lot of fabrics because, I mean, you know, African prints, we have so many designs out there. You can play with it. If you want a matching pair of earrings to your purse or your shoes, this is the easiest way to get that. And it doesn't take that long either, so. All right, so we're closer to the end. What you want to do is right here, because we had the front of it folded in, we want to have this back side as well folded in, so you have both sides folded in. That way you have clean edges on both sides, okay? And then you keep wrapping. We're close to the end, so you want to be careful that you're not making a big bulk at the end, but you want to close all your edges, okay? All right, we need to get one more in. See, I just want to cover that up. All right, so I'm at the end, and now I'm going to just snip the rest of the fabric off and then use my hot glue to glue it down. So I take my hot glue and then I put it on the edge, and what I'm doing is I'm simply pressing it down to the back. Oops. Yeah, you want to be careful. See what just happened. You don't want the hot glue everywhere. It'll defeat the purpose of the project. So, all right. Try to take that out. All right, so that's pretty much done. I'll take this hot glue off. Okay, so that's it. That one is done, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. See how tightly knit, how tightly wrapped that is. We'll set that aside. Then we're going to take this one and do the exact same thing. Okay. Like I said before, you want to start before the hole. That way you can minimize the bulk next to the hole. Go ahead and wrap it, just like we did the other one. All right, so don't forget to tuck in the front of the fabric. So I just want to stop and show you where we are right now. As you can see, we're wrapping it this way and we're making it really tight and closely wrapped. That way you avoid any unraveling. There's no way this is going to unravel unless you use the scissors to snip it. Then it will unravel. But if you don't make it tight, then it will unravel. But that's why we make ours really tight, and Stay there as long as you want it to. And you can change your mind to, if you wanted to have a different fabric on it, you can just snip it and do the exact same thing, covering it up with a different fabric. So here we're getting to the end, and don't forget to fold the other side as well, the other end. And then what we're gonna do is just to cover the finish edge, just like that. See how tight that is? So I'm done with that. Now I'm gonna snip it. And you don't want too much left over, just because you're going to put a glue right there. Okay, because it's a hot glue, it dries really fast, and if you have any white sediment, you can just roll it off a little bit. But here's the finished product, almost finished. The hard part is done, but now is the fun part, where you're going to insert the earring hooks. All right, so here we're going to take the seam ripper, and then we're going to poke a hole. Now you want to gauge where the hole is. Remember when I said pay attention to where your hole is? You can play around with it and just poke different holes and see if you get to it. But if you gauge where the bottom is, you can always figure out where the top is. So there's my hole. All I'm doing is just making that hole wide enough to take the jump ring. So just gonna insert it. Now I've done this so many times that I don't even use the tools anymore, so I can just use my hand. And you want to pay attention to how you put the hooks in, just because this side is going to face outside, so is this other side. Now if you're making this for your left ear, then you want to make sure that your hook is going to face your left side, depending on how the hook is made. And then you just close it. So that's done. I'm just gonna roll it and put the closed edge in between the holes. Okay, so now you have your left ear done. That's what it looks like. We're gonna take the right ear, poke a hole. It might take some time to find it, but I feel like I found it here. There you go. And all you're doing is just to make the hole a little bigger that the jump ring will go through. Okay, so now I'm taking my jump ring, and then I'm just gonna insert it. And then don't forget, this is the right ear, so just if you have a hard time figuring it out, just hold it like this, because that's how it's gonna sit in your ear. And make sure that the hook falls to this other side. Okay, all right, and that's done. Now we're just gonna close it. Oops. So you can actually use your tools for this, but and all I'm doing is just closing it. So that's done, and I'm just gonna twist this underneath, and voila, your earring is done. Didn't take that long, and you get the same kind of look as you have this one. See how tightly knit, I keep saying knit, but how tightly wrapped that is. I don't knit, by the way. Maybe I should. See how tightly wrapped that is, and it stays, and it looks really nice, and you can wear it with any combination of a black dress, red dress, whatever you want to wear it with. But that's it. So you don't need a lot of tools. You just need a scissors, seam ripper, a glue gun, and this is just extra. You don't need this, but you can definitely use your scissors to snip it. And then you need the fabric and the in the base of your earring to wrap that. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you learned something new. You can definitely go make yours. If you make it, please post a picture so I can share it. I love to see what you come up with, and yeah, so I will post more videos about things that I make. So thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, and watch all the videos that I have. I have some videos on head wraps and stuff like that, so I'm going to post more videos about handbags. I make handbags as well. I'm really excited about this, so thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.